There is a name saved in his phone that he has not called in 4 years. Every few months, he opens the contact. He stares at it. Sometimes he even types the first word of a message. Then he closes the phone and tells himself, "Not today." This isn't a story about a broken friendship. It's about a single Greek word 24 centuries old that explains exactly why he keeps closing that phone and exactly what breaks the pattern. Part 1. The phone that never rings. He used to call this person every week. Then it became every month. Then it became a birthday text. Then it became nothing at all. He tells himself he's been busy. He shows up to the gym 4 mornings a week. He meets every deadline at work a day early. He is, by every visible measure, a disciplined man. Small, isolated pockets of his life where the disciplined man disappears completely and something else takes over. 1 in 5 men under 40 in the United States say they have no close friends at all. The call he keeps avoiding is not rare. In a quiet, unspoken way, it is generational. Psychologists have given this pattern a dozen names over the last century, but the Greeks named it first, and they named it better. They called it Akrasia. Part 2. The word that explains everything. Akrasia isn't about not knowing what to do. It's about knowing exactly what to do, in complete clarity, and doing the opposite anyway, fully conscious of the contradiction as it happens. This troubled Aristotle. His teacher's teacher, Socrates, had argued that no one ever does wrong knowingly, that all wrongdoing is simply a failure of knowledge. Aristotle proposed something stranger. Knowledge can be present in a person without being active. It can exist the way a sleeping man possesses knowledge of arithmetic. Technically true, completely useless in that exact moment. This is the modern procrastinator, exactly. The knowledge is there. It's simply asleep at the only moment it could matter, the moment of the decision itself. Part 3. The negotiation you didn't know was happening. There are 2 versions of you negotiating, and they rarely meet. One version exists in the morning or lying awake at midnight, calm, abstract, slightly removed from consequence. Tonight, I'll call him. Tomorrow, I'll open the document. The other version exists only in the moment of execution. Phone in hand, cursor blinking, shoes by the door. This version isn't weighing your 5-year goals. It's weighing the next 90 seconds. Economists call this hyperbolic discounting. The brain devalues future rewards disproportionately. A reward 5 months away gets discounted into something the present self barely registers. The savings account works the same way. The future self benefits from every dollar set aside today. The present self only feels the dollar leaving his hand right now. He isn't failing to understand the value of reconnecting. He is standing in a transaction his calm self already lost, outvoted by a version of himself with no interest in anything beyond the next 90 seconds. Part 4. What Aristotle offered instead of motivation. Most advice on this subject is aimed at the wrong version of you. It tries to arm the morning self with better arguments, as if the war could be won by sending a smarter general into a fight he keeps losing in the moment. Aristotle's actual answer was almost insulting in its simplicity. He believed character was built by repetition, by what he called hexis, a fixed disposition formed only through the accumulation of small, repeated acts. We become builders by building, and lyre players by playing the lyre. We become brave by performing brave acts, and self-controlled by performing acts of self-control. Action comes first, identity follows. You do not call because you have become a man who reconnects. You become a man who reconnects because at some point you called, and then called again. Prohairesis, deliberate choice, not the giant dramatic resolution, the narrow specific decision point, repeated. Aristotle located character in thousands of small moments of choosing. This is the actual mechanism that destroys procrastination. Repetition of the smallest true version of the act until the negotiation between your 2 selves stops being a fight. Part 5. The 4-word version. He is not going to call tonight. The full call is still too heavy. But he doesn't need the full call. He needs the smallest viable act of prohyresis. He opens the thread. He types 4 words, thinking about you today. He sends it before the other version of himself can find a reason not to. Nothing dramatic happens. No tearful reunion. No music swelling. Just a small act completed that didn't exist an hour ago. He is not yet the kind of man who reconnects easily, but for the first time in 4 years, he has performed, once, the smallest possible act of one. Aristotle would say, do it again tomorrow in whatever form it takes. Not because you'll feel like it. You won't, most days. Do it because the feeling was never the prerequisite. It was always going to be the result. The Greeks never claimed procrastination could be defeated by understanding yourself more clearly. They claimed something smaller. It is defeated one repeated, deliberate, almost insultingly small act at a time. Just the 4-word version of whatever you've been avoiding. What is yours?